Hey Turtle Nerds, voiceover Dan here to give you guys a little bit of an update on my blind baby western painted turtle Toph. So this is little baby Toph. She lives in this little tub in with Shinji, so they kind of share the same water so it stays nice and clean. So to feed her I have to fill up this separate little plastic container. It makes it a lot easier for her to catch her food because, you know, she's blind. Then I do this little snapping that I do every time before I pick her up to let her know that she's about to be picked up. That way she can associate that snapping with, you know, me picking her up. Then I just plop her down here in her little feeding tub, and she no longer freaks out anymore. She used to kind of like clamor at the walls freaking out. Now she just immediately starts to search for food because she knows that it's the time for food. Here I've got this Zoomed hatchling formula that I mixed in with bloodworms because she loves the bloodworms. She can smell it already. She's just kind of going in circles. If I don't feed her soon, she just kind of keeps going in circles. The movement of the pellets dropping on her face are what triggers her to eat them. You see, if they don't hit her face, she doesn't end up biting at them. It's kind of like, you know, her little trigger in order to know that there are food pellets around her, that there's stuff to eat. You can see here she's starting to kind of feel around, and then she feels the resistance of the pellets on her face, and then she ends up striking at it. Normally, if there's no resistance on her face, she doesn't even bother biting. And here I drop a bunch of larger pellets on her that I have to give a little bit to soften up. But she's still gonna strike at them because she knows that they're there. They just hit her right in the face. She knows that it's food in front of her. So it's difficult to get her to eat because it takes resistance. It takes like her feeling the resistance against her face in order to bite. I'm going to demonstrate that right here using these feeding tongs. You see, I push it kind of to the side of her face, and only then will she go after it, and then the food pellets just kind of fall apart, so you can see why this is a difficult process. All of this footage I took over an hour of feeding her, and you see I keep nudging it against her in order to try to kind of activate that little primal instinct to get her to actually bite, and then I kind of try to shove the food in her mouth. She sort of knows where it is, but it takes her a long time before she actually gets a meaningful bite. I actually speed up the footage in a little bit to show you guys just how long it takes for me to get her to take a good bite. Between the food falling apart, her missing all of her little bites. You see here, that little bite? Yeah, that took about 5 minutes straight of me trying to put the food in her face. So it takes a little bit. She's able to do it on her own as well, but again, not as effective as me sitting there actually pushing the food against her face. She just feels. See, even if I just put my finger there just off the feel, she will go and bite. So then when food time's over, this has been, mind you, a 2-minute video, but this is over an hour of feeding. I'm gonna do my little snappy snap to let her know that it's time to go back in her little enclosure. She's no longer freaking out. She's no longer uncomfortable basically with me picking her up. I still try not to do it for too long, but she's way more comfortable with me now, way more relaxed than she used to be, and soon she'll probably start growing, and hopefully she gets more and more accustomed to the feeding schedule. I try to keep her on a pretty decent schedule, and again, I take her out in order to feed her so she knows when she moves into another container, everything is food in there. And then I feed all the leftovers to the fish that live in with Pipsqueak. But that's pretty much it. That's our routine. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.